Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to react to this Matt Walsh debate. Apparently he's going to debate an EMT who you would believe knows a thing or two about science. And they're going to debate, what is a woman? And apparently they're going to touch upon what is a female. Is that something that is open to interpretation? We shall see. And this is a Young America's Foundation. So this is a conservative crowd. And, it is actually refreshing to see a civil conversation between, a trans activist or trans person and a conservative. There's no angry mob, nothing like that. No violence, no calling anybody out of their names, just, a civil conversation. So I'm glad to see that, especially, Matt Walsh isn't everybody's favorite person. So, these trans people were very civil. They came to an event that was full of conservatives. So I commend them for that, for stepping out of, their comfort zone, I would think, and having the conversation. So let's have a look.
How would you define a woman? Because you've asked other people up here to define how we would define a woman. How would you define a woman, Mr. Walsh?
An adult human female.
I can't even believe this is a thing. It's very simple. And now we have prime ministers and presidents who cannot define what a woman is. People who are leading countries cannot define what a woman is. You see how simple that was?
How do you and how does this government define a woman?
To be honest, Sean, that question's come slightly out of left field for me. Biology, sex, gender. People define themselves. People define their own genders.
Keir Starmer has said that he believes 99.9% of women do not have penises. And I know it's a strange thing for him to say, but given recent events in New Zealand, I'd ask again, how do you define what a woman is?
Well, I think as I've just indicated, I wasn't expecting that question, so it's not something that I've, pre-formulated an answer on. But in terms of gender identity, I think people define their gender identity for themselves.
But yet, we have people, judges, Supreme Court judges saying, I'm not a biologist, as if it's that difficult.
And how doesn't a transgender woman fit that definition?
Female.
Because they're not female. They have, you said that you are a biological male, correct?
I said I'm transgender. I might be intersex for all we know. About almost as many people in the world are transgender as intersex, and a lot of people don't know.
Well, but that's a different conversation. Intersex, that's a genetic anomaly, that's a medical condition. So that's a completely different conversation. That's also not a third gender. That's a genetic anomaly that occurs within the sex binary of male and female.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't try now conflate it with being intersex. That is where someone is born with an abnormality. They have, typically it's where they have parts of both sexual organs.
Obviously born a girl, but you had a deformity that somebody somewhere along the line assumed you were a boy.
No. When I was born in 1949, all girls born with a deformity were given the superior sex, which was the male sex.
Right.
Because that it was just done because you were a deformity, you were never going to have a life, and in those days it was better to be a man than a woman, and they thought, well, give the child a break.
Oh, wow. So it wasn't a mistake as such?
It was the medical policy at the time.
Like Lady Colin Campbell was spoken about her experience as a child, because she was born intersex, and they raised her as a boy initially, I think for the first 18 years. But so, if someone's born with both parts, with parts of both sexual organs, but that's not the same as somebody who was born male with one sexual organ, born with a penis. There's no choosing. That's biology. You're fortunate to not have been born with an abnormality. So this is all psychological. This is not a physical issue. You can, most people born with male or female, they can go on to have children. Everything functions how it's supposed to function. In that situation, there's no ambiguity. So I feel that's kind of disingenuous trying to conflate it with being intersex.
What you're saying is that a quote-unquote trans woman is a female?
By the definitions I'm familiar with, yes.
So how would you define female?
Through my training in healthcare, there are several different categories for how we define sex. People bring up chromosomes. People also bring up hormone levels. People bring up all sorts of other categories. Lots of people don't fit neatly into a gender binary, even people we don't consider to be intersex. It's a complicated spectrum.
When I did science in school, it was very simple. XX chromosomes, female, XY is male. I don't know where we got to this point now where we can argue with biology. I don't know how we got to that point. And it's a classic example of the dumbing down of society. Because a kid in, 7th grade can answer this, or even earlier, much earlier probably, can answer this.
It's not complicated, but you also didn't define. So what is a woman? What is a female? What do these words mean?
It's complicated, and I know you're not going to like that answer, but that's because there are no simple answers in human biology.
Let me ask you a question.
You guys,
Can I ask you one last question?
just let me finish.
Simple answer.
You guys like to bring up high school level biology classes a lot. I get that a lot, but people who go on to more complicated biology classes will talk about sex as a spectrum.
It's not. It's not.
Well, biological researchers would disagree with you.
Well, then they're full of the ones that would say that.
Whoa, spicy.
There are male gametes and female gametes. Oh, I had one last question. I just have one. I had one quick. Can you come back for 1 second? Because this is an important question. You said you're an EMT.
Yes.
Okay. Before we get to that, what happened to trust the science? That was their mantra. Trust the science. When it comes to forcing people to get vaccines and all this kind of thing, it's trust the science. That seems to be dependent on political views. Seems to be dependent on the money. Let's just be real. So we're supposed to trust the science. But then when it comes to gender ideology, we throw all of that out of the window when it's the most easiest and most basic application of science. Like, this is crazy.
Okay, if you're responding to a health emergency. Biological male, somebody with a penis is having a medical emergency. And they say to you, I think I'm having a miscarriage. Would you check them to see if they're having a miscarriage? Would you consider that a possibility for them?
Look. No, but that's because some people don't have body parts.
I'm glad that, this person actually gave a direct answer. Because some people will try and skirt around that.
Doesn't mean they're not a woman.
Okay. Sounds like we've established there are some people who, in principle, can get pregnant, and there are some people who can't. So there's two categories, otherwise known as binary.
Lots of women can't get pregnant either.
Yeah, but they're still of the nature to get pregnant. The only
but
reason
they can't get pregnant.
Yes, but
truth matters.
Oh, no. That doesn't mean they're the same as a man, though, does it? They're still a woman. This is so insulting. This is so insulting to women. Does that mean they're a man? Or they can pass as a man? No, they're still a woman, biologically, in every sense.
Truth matters, right?
It does. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Truth matters, and they can't get pregnant. That's the truth. So how are they still women?
Because they are for the same reason that I can rightly say that human beings have two legs. And if a person is born with only one leg, that doesn't call into question the statement that human beings have two legs, okay? A person being born with one leg doesn't mean that now legs are on a spectrum and we can't say anything at all about how many legs a person has. Who knows? They could be a centipede. You know, they could have 100 legs. No, we know human beings have two legs. If a human is born without two legs, something went wrong. They were supposed to have that second leg. Something went wrong. If you meet a person on the street who only has one leg, maybe they had an accident. Maybe they were in war. Maybe something, maybe they were in a car accident. Maybe they had cancer. A leg was cut off. But you know that something went wrong because by their nature, they're supposed to have two legs. Same thing for a woman. A woman by her nature can get pregnant. A man by his nature never can. So if you meet a woman of childbearing age, say she's 28 years old, and she can't get pregnant, you know automatically that something has gone wrong. And she can go to the doctor and find out what that thing is, even if they can't fix it. So that proves that women by their nature can get pregnant because
And also, this reminds me of Dylan Mulvaney, where he was doing that passive-aggressive TikTok because people were upset about the whole tampon thing. And he had the nerve to say, what did he say? He had the nerve to say, I will never bear a child. As if to say he's in the same category as women who can't conceive, who can't get pregnant or carry a baby to full term, as if to say, trying to garner sympathy even, in the same way as a woman who has the, misfortune of being told that she will never bear children, or a woman who wants children being told that. He had the nerve to put himself in the same category. Never mind the fact that you're a man, unless you are shooting blanks and you've got some issues, you can probably go and have conceive a child tomorrow if you wanted to. You don't put yourself in the same category as a woman who, is dealing with infertility. How dare he? I noticed that video when he said that. It's so insulting, and it's so dismissive of what women go through, the real issues that women have to deal with, that he will never have to deal with. Never. He chooses to identify as a woman, but obviously he is not and never will be. There's 0 days of girlhood, 0 days of womanhood that man has experienced. Anyway, let's get back to this.
The simple fact that she can't shows you that there's something wrong. This is what is known as the exception that proves the rule. Whereas if a male with a penis can't get pregnant, no doctor on earth is going to run tests to see what's wrong with him. Because they already know it's that he's a male, and there's only male and female, those who can get pregnant and those who can't. So, that's it.
I mean, a nice try though. Nice try. And again, it was a civil conversation. So I just can't believe we're at this point now. I've seen with my own eyes men. There was one that I saw where he was crying. Well, I don't know if they were real tears, but he was, acting like he was upset about the fact that he can't bear a child. This is a man, biological male, trying to put himself in the same category as a woman who's, for whatever reason, is unable to bear a child. We've had men rolling around saying they have period pain. This is ridiculous. And again, I ask feminists, are you okay with this? All in the name of inclusivity and progressiveness. Are you okay with this? It's woman face. It's a minstrel show and extremely insulting. So I'm glad, again, I hope we can have more conversations like this, civil conversations. That way, people may actually learn something and snap out of this craziness that we're living through now, where we can't even answer, the same people who say trust the science can't answer a basic question: what is a woman? Or what is a man? Why do we know? That's never under question. What is a man? Interesting. Anyway, so let me know what you think. Do you think Matt did a good job there? And do you understand why we're at this point. Like, how did we get to this point? Please share below how you think we got to this point. And, you know, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.